So I'm watching the Today Show this morning. By the way, fuck Good Morning America. I can't stand their hosts anymore. I can't watch that anymore. Anyways, I'm watching the Today Show, and they just did a segment about the Oscars being too white, and how there's a boycott of the Oscars being proposed by Jada Pinkett Smith, who some see as just being salty that her husband, Will Smith, didn't get nominated for his role in Concussion. And once the race card is dropped on something like this, it's hard to just pull it away. And people joking about it, Chris Rock, joking about how, yeah, they picked him, the host. I'm paraphrasing what's being tweeted about and what's said by certain African-American actors out there. Chris Rock's joking about how, like, yeah, white awards, black hosts, that's how they get away with, being quote-unquote racist. And just not that this is linked specifically to any one of them, but there's things like that being said on Twitter. Don Cheadle saying something about how he's going to be parking cars on the G level after he, gives his award out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, why do we have to go there? Now, a lot of you are going to say right back, well, did you see the nominees, Archfiend? There isn't one single non-Caucasian that got nominated for every actor and actress award. And I do see that. And when I did see it originally, when the nominations came out last week, I was like, boy, it's a very white Oscars this year. But it didn't make me say to myself, like, God damn, the Oscars and the nomination committee are just so fucking racist. Because that's the underlying tone of dropping the race card, is that this process in the nomination committee are racists. Obviously, because the proof is in the pudding. All white actors? Racism! The problem I have with this, and frankly, I haven't seen all the actors and all the moves that the actors and actresses were in this year, but maybe, just maybe, it's just a coincidence that those were just the better performances. And another thing about the whole process here is that it's all arbitrary to begin with. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue racism on an arbitrary process, though you can. And it may be valid if there's warranted circumstances that prove it. But I hate to break it to the people that want to drop the racism card. This is the same Academy and process that has given Academy Awards, Oscars, whatever you want to call them, to numerous black actors and actresses. Numerous films about black culture, or even whatever you want to label it as. There's been numerous times that the Academy has given these awards to non-Caucasian actors and quote-unquote non-Caucasian films. And I hate saying that a film is a black film, a white film, or whatever. I've enjoyed many films that were quote-unquote black films, and last I checked, I'm not black. So how does that make it a fucking black film? I must have seen the movie Boys in the Hood 1,000 times. I could quote that movie verbatim. But somewhere along the line, I was told that was a black film. Why is that? And why do I enjoy it as a white person? Anyway, what I'm getting at here is the whole racism card being dropped, and now that there's a proposed boycott of the Oscars, it now brings forth a circumstance where the award is cheapened for the winners. And yeah, I know this isn't the first time this has come up or anything, but this is the first time that there's been this much steam behind it. The fact that it's making a big segment on the Today Show in the morning, I've never seen it go this far. And the fact that Jada Pinkett Smith is organizing a boycott, or wanting to organize a boycott, however the far it's going to get taken, who knows. But the fact that it's gotten this far, that this racism card has been dropped to this level, it cheapens the awards for the actual, and frankly, what are probably going to be the most deserving winners, whether or not there was black actors nominated in a category with them or not. Now, obviously the Academy has given the award to numerous quote unquote black films and African American actors, black actors, whatever you want to call it. I don't care if I want to be politically incorrect or not here. And you know, it can just be a coincidence that the best films, the best seen films by the Academy and the nomination committee, which is over 5,000 nomination members that vote for the nominees. So that group of 5,000 plus people, it's actually over 6,000. Maybe, just maybe, those films that were more Oscar type films, because frankly, there's a lot of Oscar films and a lot of awards that get won the Oscars. I'm just like, that's a film that'll never give the time of day. But again, it's an arbitrary process and people need to understand that. So now, when you see someone like, you know, say Leonardo DiCaprio wins for Best Actor, all right? I think that's an actor that's very deserving of the award and has paid more than his dues in Hollywood and made some fantastic films. Even Titanic. I know it's against the laws of the internet to say Titanic is an enjoyable film, but frankly, it was a very good film. I'm not saying he should have won an Oscar for Best Actor or anything like that, but it was a good film. That aside, someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, let's just hypothetically say he wins. His award is going to be cheapened because now it's the, yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio won an Oscar, but he had an advantage because he was white. And now I fear a trend that is going to come out of this, in that next year when we see the Oscars, you may end up seeing a lot more minority groups, blacks, Hispanics, or just even foreign actors or something like that, saying like, oh, the Academy's going to be like, oh shit, we got labeled with the race card last year. We can't have an Oscars that's as white as it was last year. No, we got it. I don't care if I think this actor did a better job in this film. I'm going to elect this minority member instead. So you got a whole thing that could spiral here, and that not necessarily the more deserving or just the members that the committee wanted to nominate, people are going to feel it's like, oh man, you know, I don't want to, you know, be seen as part of the committee that's labeled as racist again. Which, frankly, there's a lot of African Americans that are on the voting panel, but forget about that part, right? Anyway, I just feel that you're going to see Hollywood not necessarily choose who they think is the best actor for a role in a film now, in that they're like, oh, well, this is a very serious film that's going to have some Oscar-worthy potential out of it. I'm going to have to put some minority actors in this film. Like, it shouldn't have to come to that. I don't care if the Oscars are all 100% white nominees, 100% black nominees, 100% Indian, Hispanic, what have you. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. Whatever that 6,000 plus nomination committee selects, and I know people are going to be like, oh, are you trying to tell me there's not one single racist-minded person on that entire committee? Of course there is. Any group of 6,000 people, you're going to find some racist-minded individuals. But that doesn't change the matter of the fact that a number of minority groups have won. Number of members of minority groups have won in the past by this quote-unquote racist selection committee. I can understand when the racist card is dropped and when the race card just in general is dropped, but man, I don't see it this time. I know I'm going to be labeled as a racist because I'm not acknowledging what is clearly an all-white representation of Hollywood here in the Best Actor and Actress categories, because they're all white, and I'm not saying, oh, I got to join the boycott. It's racist. Coincidental and arbitrary. That's your two key words here. It could be just a coincidence. And frankly, I would have liked to see people like Will Smith get nominated for Concussion. I would have liked to have seen Michael B. Jordan get nominated for Creed, but they weren't. They weren't. And it doesn't have to be just because the committee was racist that selected the actors and actresses that ended up getting the nominations. I know, I just feel that there is still such a hypersensitivity to racism. And I'm not saying that, yeah, okay, this is a world where there's no more racism and everyone holds hands and there's rainbows and shooting stars everywhere, because obviously racism still exists. But man, it's just so quick to drop the racism card in so many instances, and I feel this is one of them. And maybe I just have white man blinders on and I'm not seeing this. But again, I find it hard to say that this is clearly a race issue when this committee has, again, and I know, I keep bringing up that point that black people have won Oscars before, minorities have won Oscars before, Slumdog Millionaire won for Movie of the Year, and last I checked, I didn't see many Caucasian people in that movie at all. But anyway, obviously it's disproportionate if you do the totality of time the Oscars have been around. The scale is obviously heavily tilted towards Caucasian actors winning the awards compared to non-Caucasian actors. Now, frankly, if you go back, far enough, you're going to find that, frankly, there was just not many non-Caucasians in films because that's just the way things were back then. Anyway, I don't know. It just kind of frustrates me to see that, you see members of Hollywood and you see so many black actors getting behind this movement now and making snarky comments towards the Oscars being so white and everything like that. Then stop supporting Hollywood. Stop acting in films. Stop supporting the juggernaut machine that supplies the Oscars with its actors. Boycott Hollywood in general. Like, I mean, again, and not that I think anyone should realistically give up their job as an actor because you're upset with the Oscars, but just to be upset at the Oscars, you should be upset with Hollywood in general if the Oscars themselves upset you, because that nomination committee is made of actors, actresses, and a number of people that make the films in Hollywood. So if you have a problem with the Oscars, you have a problem with Hollywood and the profession in which you joined up in. All right, people like Don Cheadle, Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett Smith, all these people that are popping off on Twitter right now making snarky comments about the Oscars. Anyway, I don't know, racism in the race card, it always interests me, and it's always something I want to talk. And I know the racist card's going to be dropped on me because I don't support a boycott of the Oscars. And of course, I'm white and I'm not supporting a boycott, and I get all that. And frankly, people can drop the racism card on me. People are welcome to be ignorant in this world. Who am I to tell you you're not supposed to be ignorant, or you can't be ignorant? Anyways, I'll be watching the Oscars and I'll be rooting for Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he should win an Oscar this year, and not just because he's white. If that bothers you, well, sorry. I mean, a lot of people like country music and don't like rap. Does that mean they're automatically racist? People have different tastes, and again, arbitrary processes. Said all I needed to say. Have a good day, and I found a new way to be even lazier here with my videos. I just pick up my cell phone and shoot videos. I don't know. Do people even care that I'm shooting these videos with my cell phone instead of going upstairs and using the camera that I spent hundreds of dollars on? Anyways. Have a good day, everyone.